And good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Just got the vampire, just got me. Did really good too. There's no mark. I took the band-aid off already. Alexa, turn on light.
Okay.
Wow, you can't even tell. I love it when they do that. They don't butcher you. I could see a vet. Not even. I can't even tell where she went in. Alexa, shut light. Alexa, shut light.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. What happened? Did the voice change? Oh, I got one. I was thinking about you. Nick. It's going to be Nick A. Not Nikki. Nick A. Like A's in your tests. Nick A. Oh, that's good though. That's good. Congratulations on that. Nick A. Nick A's. I wrote a song this morning before I went to get my vampire check. But I'm going to play it. And I didn't eat since yesterday, so I just went. It's the funniest thing. I bought a New York Giants sandwich at a store. A sub. I won't eat that now. I bought 2 bags of chips. One for her, one for me. Original Oots. And then I bought 2 boxes of these. Which I'm having coffee right now. I need a paper towel. And I come walking with all this stuff in my hands. Oh, and a bag of fries for her. Because mom doesn't eat anything anymore. That's meat, poultry, even fish. She's in denial now. So I'm carrying all this. I don't have a bag. Some lady goes, "Oh, you're gonna have a party." I said, "Well, look, see that? I haven't eaten since yesterday, so you know I'm gonna munch." She started laughing. So that was funny just now. That happened like 10 minutes ago. And you know I'm going to have coffee with my 1 donut. Because this is really bad for you. Really bad. This thing is loaded with nasty stuff. 270 calories for one of those. I don't even want to look at the sugar. But see, I did my test. I'll have the results tomorrow. I'll worry about that tomorrow. But I should be good to go. We'll find out how comparing 3 months ago to today. We'll see. I'm pretty sure it'll be all right. Because I've been eating like a freaking rabbit. I'm going to put the new song up on the screen. I got to wait till I go on the TikTok. It's like I could speak normal right now while we're not on there. Kind of crazy, right? Once I get on there, it's like I have to adjust. I wonder if KJ's sleeping at night now. And not staying up all night till the sun rises. You know what? I'll give you a sneak peek of the song first. All right, I got to put it on this screen. Let me pause it. It's got the lyrics, so you'll see where I'm going with this one. It's pretty obvious. Let me enjoy my coffee first. Oh, that's good. That's really good. There's nothing like fresh coffee, I swear. There's just nothing like it. It's just too bad we're going to have to pay an ounce of gold for coffee. You know what I mean? Liquid gold. It's what it is now. It's like liquid gold. And that shit's only going to get higher. Everything is. I think a lot of people are in denial. And that's why I wrote this song. Denial of truth. Like, seriously. It's so crazy rampant how much there is denial of reality, truth, history, science. You name it. It's like they're trying to put us back 50 years. In the vision of a narrow mind, an egotistical, narcissistic mind, it's like the power's gone to his head kind of a deal, like on a serious level. And people were saying this, they just didn't believe it. They thought it was just rhetoric. Rhetoric is one thing, but when shit comes to reality, it's like, oh shit, they were right. It's happening right in front of our eyes every day. And it's getting more and more every day. Well, here's the song I wrote this morning thinking about all that.
A world of confusion. Is it fact or fiction? Conspiracies become the norm, feeding one's addiction, destroying credibility, erasing the stats, replaced by agendas, science under attack.
tell me that's not badass, Nick. You're the only chat I'm looking at right now because I'm going to go live on TikTok in a second. See, now, this is fucking reality. But there's a lot of ignorant, stupid, naive people out there that don't even see what's right in front of them. Because they're in denial, a lot of them. They don't want to admit what's going on. But it's right there, right in front of you, every day. So I sat down, I said, I got to write a song about all this nonsense. It's just insane. This is getting really fucking crazy. Quick. Yes, that song should be played for all those in denial. And it's 35% of the country, pretty much. They're in denial. Or maybe they want this. A malicious state. An autocratic build-up. And it's funny because in the past, socialism is going to take over. The communists are going to take over. What the fuck is happening right now? Obama's going to put out martial law, FEMA camps, all this. Look what the fuck is going on right now. What are you saying now? Nothing. Crickets. You're going along with it. But when the other side does it, oh my God, they're gonna do all this. The military, the National Guard, is not trained to do what they're doing. They're picking up fucking garbage in D.C. This is a stunt. But if you look at the statistics, the cities by per capita, 7 of the top 10 are Republican cities. But you don't see them going in there, right? Of course not. Because they're not going to have National Guard going into a Republican governing state because they're not going to have it. It's targeted. This is so obvious. It's so blatant. It's so fucking ridiculous. But this is what's going on. Using the military in a political agenda stunt move. Is that sick? That's just sick. It's just sick. There's no excuses for it. Oh, but crime is down. Oh, give me a fucking break. That's what people are saying. Oh, crime is down. Yeah, when you think crime is down because crime is down or people are fucking frightened? It's weaponization of fear. It's a totally different thing. You've got the military walking on the streets of cities, but not in Republican cities where the crime is actually statistically worse, because they're not going to do that. Of course not. That's how biased and bullshit it is, because you could tell right off the get-go. Because look at the statistics for some of the cities. Memphis is one. San Antonio. Republican states with the crime rate per capita is higher. We could do the stats. But they say the stats they're lies. You know what I mean? They're fixing that. Everything to them is an excuse with bullshit. Oh, they're fixing this, they're rigging this, they're doing that, because they want to ignore the truth. And they want their followers to ignore the truth and go rah, 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 and go along with everything that's going on. And I say this, when a Democrat takes power, I don't want to hear no bullshit from the other side doing the same shit. Because when you allow this to go like this, another president from another party is going to say, well, I can do this shit too. Because he did it. Why can't I? That's the danger here. This is not Republican. This is not Democrat. It's the danger where we're going forward. And once we get there, it's going to get very hard to come back down. And when the other side is bitching and moaning and enjoying it now, but there's going to come a time where they're going to be bitching and moaning because the other side's going to do it. Because you did it and nobody said nothing. So now you set the bar here. So when a Democrat president does this shit into Republican cities, what's going to happen? That's what I say. Hypocrisy is a bitch. And it's going to come back to bite people on the ass. Big time. Two wrongs do not make a right here. I'm not condoning anybody doing this. No one should do this on either side. But they're too scared to speak up. That's the problem. And some of them, you have also, just to be true here, you have white nationalists. Because a lot of these cities are minority cities. Big influx of blacks, Hispanics, they're sitting back. This also has a racial card to it too, for some. I'm not saying for everyone. For some, they're enjoying this. Because they're racists. That's the bottom line. There are some people that are loving this. It's all about white nationalism. That's fact. So, we have to be careful what's going on in this country. And nobody's doing anything to stop it. You push the boundaries, just like I wrote that song. You push the boundaries and you see how far you can go when nobody says nothing to stop you from going further. That's what's going on right now. They're pushing all the boundaries. It's insane. And the denial of science, defunding of science, because it's not part of their agenda. You got to remember, they're anti a lot of things, with no basis of reality, no scientific data at all. All the fucking scientists, majority of them are like, what the fuck is going on here? And if you speak out, you get fired. So guess what's going to happen? All the people that are qualified and are well educated, have been doing this for years, they're going to go bye-bye, and we're going to be left with nothing. And when some bullshit happens, then we're going to be fucked. While the other countries are saying, what is going on in the United States? They've lost their minds. Because they're not going to stop in their research, advancements in technology and science. They're not. You know how this is? They're going to catch up real fast and go whoosh, right by us because of what's going on right now. That's what's going to happen. United States is no longer going to be that innovative country with breakthrough technology, unless it's in the military area. But we're fucking ourselves so bad. I can't believe how much stuff is going up in price everywhere. It's all over the place. Everything I go now, it's like, wait a minute. Everything I buy is like going up. It's like, do people not... See, that's the thing. People are not stupid. When they see the cost of living goes up in so many different areas, then they wake up. Then they start to say, oh shit. It has to affect them directly for them to wake up and smell the fucking coffee. It's the only way it's going to happen. I've been saying that. And it's starting to happen. Because despite one extreme side loving every minute of it, the rest of the country is like, what the fuck is going on? And that includes a lot of independents. 60% of this country is saying, what the fuck is going on? Basically, that's what's going on right now. They're like, what is going on? Forget about because if it was a Democrat president, they're all going to be rah-rah, of course. If it's a Republican president, the MAGA core is loving this. They've been waiting for this, actually. This is like redemption. You got to remember, this is deep for them. But the Democrats, when there's a Democratic president there, they're the same way. But like I always been saying, what are the independents saying? Right now, he's doing so bad with independents. It's like underwater by 20 average points on every policy. The independents are like, oh my God, why did I vote for this guy? Seriously, forget about MAGA, forget about Democrats. You know where they're going to vote. Even though some Democrats crossed party lines to vote for President Trump. They did. But a lot of independents, a lot of Hispanics, a lot of black people voted for him. I wonder what they're thinking right now. I wonder what they're thinking. Like I said, forget about the others. They're dug in. You can't even talk to them because they don't listen. They think everything they say is the right thing. You cannot even communicate with them because they are so dug in. So it's useless to talk. It's useless for me to talk. But I'm talking more to the independents like me out there. Wake up. Look what's going on. Because I'll tell you this right now. I'm not fucking voting that way again. Oh, a lot of the things that they've done and agreed with that affect my community, everything that's going on here with solar, food, electric, you name it. Everything's going up. Fuck that. They're never getting my vote again. Because they went along with it. And this is just the beginning. and I voted for Trump. Because I didn't see Kamala as being somebody that, even though, they all talk that rhetoric when they're on their campaigns, but really, I didn't see with everything that was going on in the world with foreign policy and everything else. And I'm an independent, remember, I could vote either way. But I said, right now, maybe we need that strong man persona. I didn't trust him on the economy because he's been bankrupt so many times, claimed bankruptcy, because he used the system, like he says. Well, I took advantage of what was legal, and I know what he did in New York. Fucked over small businesses. Many in Atlantic City. What him and his father tried to pull with discriminating against Hispanics and black people moving into their buildings. He's done a lot of shady shit in his past. But everybody's seen him on The Apprentice. They fell in love with him. Oh my God, we need a reality president. We need this guy. But they don't really know his history. We don't really know his history with Jeffrey Epstein yet. Because they're trying so hard to prevent that from coming out. And it's funny because the other side was like, oh my God, it's the pedophilia Democratic ring. That's what they were told for like 9 years. But now it's like, dead stop. Dead stop. Why is it a dead stop? You were showing it, smiling in front of the fucking White House with these binders. Oh, we got the Epstein files. And then what happened? Crickets. It went quiet because he's in it. And he's in it a lot, most likely. I don't have proof of that. But everything that's going on is leading up to that. Now, it doesn't mean it's criminal. But it can be very embarrassing for him. And he's all about his own self-image, projection. They don't want that. So this is, and finally, and I've been complaining about it, they subpoenaed Alex Acosta. Finally. He should have been on the top of the list. Now they woke up and said, okay, we're going to subpoena him. We're going to get him in here. The guy that knows everything about the sweetheart deal that a Republican did in Florida, protecting named and unnamed co-conspirators of Epstein. Republicans did that, not Democrats. Republican did that. So there's so much false misinformation, misleading information out there, and they buy it. They buy it hook and sinker. Do the research. I have the Epstein plea. I have a copy of it. I do my research. I check what the hell's going on. People just listen to what they see or hear, and they just run with it without doing any valid research. That's sad. But this happens all the time. And that's just the state of what we all live in right now. I can't even believe that some of the rhetoric that the Democrats were saying during the campaign actually were true. I can't even believe that. I can't even believe I'm saying that. Because I'm not all with that. I'm a moderate. I'm in the middle. I used to be leaning Democrat when I lived in New York City. Now I lean more red, Republican. But I'm a moderate. But I'm in the middle. I've been living in a Republican county for 20 years. Ideologies changed, just like Trump was a Democrat. He changed, right? The hypocrisy is so sickly thick that this country, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know what's going to happen. But we'll see. Maybe I'm just overreacting. Maybe. Could very well be. I hope I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong, but I'm not a person that's going to say I'm fucking right on everything I say either. So, I mean, my God. How many times can one shake their head in one day? Daily. Like, what? What's going on now? Holy shit. And that's why I wrote that song this morning, because I was thinking about everything that's going on. I'm like, this is not. And oh my God, still got a long time to go. So I pray. I pray for everyone. I pray for peace, unity, compassion, love, peace, safety, law and order when done correctly. I mean, of course we all want to be safe. Nobody's in denial of that. But this is not a fair and balanced approach when you're targeting blue states, blue cities for a reason. This is not balanced. If you're going to do it right. Do it across the board. Then I say, okay, you're trying to do this across the country in the high crime, but that's not what's happening right now. It's just not happening. So Genghis, what's up? I wrote this yesterday on a show that I was producing. It made me cringe. I told Chris, and you see Chris DePerno, he's a retired detective. He's a Republican, but you know what? He's a moderate, realistic person. I have the utmost respect for that man. Do we agree on everything? I would say we agree on 90%. There's some little things that we do, but that's fine. But that man he's such, how would I say it? What a person of character. Truly. And I told him what happened on the show, and he goes, Bill, oh my gosh. I can't believe, because I couldn't believe it. It had me like, I was cringing. And it had to do with a murder case that happened in Philly years ago. And there's a whole story behind it. And I love Megan. She's awesome. She works with Rudy Giuliani. She's awesome. They all are awesome. The hosts are awesome. John, Jake, oh my God, from Tennessee. How could I forget his name right now? Greg. And they're all conservatives. Remember, I have conservative shows on this network. I decided that. I did that. I am, like I said, I'm a moderate conservative. 20 years ago, I was a moderate, well, no, I was a Democrat. Fuck that. Not an independent. Now I'm an independent that leans red, Republican. Because up here, what you see nationally that's going on in the country does not reflect of what's going on in my county here in Orange County, New York. Everybody's here is moderate. They're open-minded. They're objective. They want the best person to represent them. Do you know we have a Democrat in representing us in the House, voted by Republicans? When does that happen? Where does that happen? Because everybody up here is moderate, not extreme. Of course, you're going to have a few extreme of everything. But it's more moderate here. People think more. They don't react. They don't follow party line. They do what's best for the community, for the county. The guy that we all voted for, I voted for him. For that, I voted for him. He's a West Point grad, served in the military. I mean, this guy is an honorable person. And he's done a lot for our community. I mean, so much. And I participate sometimes in the town hall calls that he does, because I like to be part of that. That's when you're engaged. That's when you communicate. You know how many times I've written House or state legislators and stuff like that? Are you kidding? I'm directly involved. I'm not one of these people that talk shit and are not. They speak. It's all action. There's no action. They're all words. I act. When I had a problem with a company trying to say that they cut I had a solar farm. I had the panels put in. The solar company says, oh, we're cutting your service and now you got to pay us a fee. I was like, whoa, what? I contacted the Attorney General's office. It got resolved. When the post office, because of this idiot that's in charge of the post office right now closed down, and this is a rural area, shut down a lot of the local post office's delivery carrier capabilities and decided to build a distribution center that would be the one that would send out all the mail to with the carriers all over the place, covering a wide area, slowed the mail down completely, screwed everything up. I contacted his office. Not just me, many others did too. And I was surprised at that. And it got resolved. That's what you do. When something comes up, that's what you do. You take action. You just don't talk about it. You take action. Proactive. How many people do you know that actually do that? And I'm not one of those that's gonna stand on the street and protest, because to me that's a waste of time. And also in this environment, you might get your head banged in, or arrested, or whatever. Or they might, because of my color, check for my papers to see if I'm a legal person. For all I know. That's what we're living in right now. And I know that people are very passionate about speaking their voice in a peaceful manner. And look, remember what happened when George Floyd, that whole thing happened over there? Well, they had protests in New York City, right? Peaceful protests. I'll never forget it, at night. And I used to live in New York City the majority of my life. I know what the fuck goes on down there. Then this element started to loot and do things. And they said right away it's Antifa. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was not Antifa. Those are the low-life ghetto gangbangers, because I've seen it, I know it. Every time they take advantage of a situation, and that's what they do. Because they hate the police, they chant it, the Bloods, the Crips, the Kings, you name it. They take advantage of a situation. If there's a blackout, they loot. It doesn't matter. And they take advantage of the situation. And what stores did they target? Phones, sneakers, clothing, the fucking shit they want. They value that. Back in the day when I lived in the city, they would rob your sneakers off your feet. Forget about cell phones. That's the element. That's the true nature of what's going on. Now, I am definitely, what President Trump did in 2000, I think it was 2018, I wrote him. I applauded what he did. This was the right way to do it, not the military. This was the right thing he did to clean up a city right here. FBI, ATF, ICE, state, federal, and you come in all together, working with the local police department, who knows what's going on, where the criminals are, or alleged criminals, because they due process, which we lost sight of what due process is now. They're entitled to get due process, innocent to proven guilty in a court. They rounded over, and I could pull up the articles, over 130 gangbangers here in a small little city. They came in and lightning fast, got them off the streets. That's how it's done, and I'm all for that. But there's also limitations. And under the Constitution. See, right now, this is a federally controlled area, D.C. When you start doing it in states, those are issues. And it's going to go to the Supreme Court, but the way the Supreme Court is now, they're probably going to go along with it. Do you know in a state, if remember, there's a separation between federal and state. We know that you hear that all the time. The governor is the commander-in-chief of that state of the National Guard. Technically, he is, under the Constitution. It's in the Constitution, 10th Amendment. Go look it up. The federal is overstepping their power, dictating what guards. That's why you see other guards coming from other states that are going along with it. But they're also going into another state for a political agenda. It's not a state of a fucking emergency. You got to see what the guidelines are. It has to fit a certain criteria. And that's why you see it's so bad. It's crime is crazy because they have to make it sound like it's a state that's an emergency. Those statistics show otherwise. Now, but don't get me wrong. And like I said, I'm all for this. The liberals in these cities should, not the military, fuck the National Guard. This is insane. But the military should be open arms in getting federal assistance to combat crime by doing it another way. Not with the National Guard isn't made for that. That's not their role. That's not their job. They're not even fucking trained for that. And now you're arming them? God forbid something crazy happens. God forbid. Do you know how much law enforcement takes training to deal with policing the streets? They have none. Something crazy could happen. And then what? Then what? Ask a police officer if these people have the proper training to be law enforcement officers on the streets, policing the streets. Absolutely not. Their mission is a different mission. They're trained for a different type of mission. But at the same time, I am all for going into cities and combating crime with federal assistance. I am all for that. Like it happened here. And I could pull up the letter I wrote to him. I have it. And I could read it, what I wrote to him in his first term. That's why I'm saying I'm all good for certain things, but not giving everything. There's just no way. I'm not going to just go along with everything. There's limitations. There's boundaries. And they're overstepping big time in so many ways, in so many areas. So if people like it, accept it, fine. That's on you. It ain't cool with me. It's just not cool with me. You got to remember, people's motivations are different. For whatever reasons they're supporting it, they have their own opinions. I respect their opinions. Whatever it is, good luck. But I don't want to hear it when shit really hits the fan and it gets really fucking bad. Oh no, they were picking up garbage, toxic. Again, security for what? Are we talking about murder or security? Taking people into custody and stopping predators requires the same training. So, if people want to make excuses for what's going on right now and allowing this to just keep going, the bar keep going up, like I said, when the shoe's on the other foot and it's a president you do not like because it's not your party, I want to see the same responses by people. I'm going to hold you all to it. I want to see what you have to say then, because the hypocrisy game isn't working with me. It's okay now because you may be for this president and this administration. In 3.5 years, let's see if you feel the same way if a Democrat's doing the same shit in a red state, in a red city. I don't know. I don't think so. It's always when either one is in power, of course, but now it's just like the bar is being pushed so high on what's going on. When you're over here, it's hard to come back down. Because now a future president is going to say, well, he signed an executive order to do it. Why can't I? And, you know, but you have to see the trick here is having control of all the branches pretty much. Pretty much all of it, including judicial with the Supreme Court. You got the Supreme Court. You got both houses, the Senate and the House. And you got the executive. So everything they do, they work together to do it. So that helps a lot in what's going on because they're all, okay, let's do it. There's no one to say anything else. We'll see. We shall see. And like I said, I just hope it doesn't blow into something really bad. I pray I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I don't want to be right. I hope I'm wrong. This is not about me being right or wrong. I just making a point, and other people are going to just believe everything they say because they're dug in. They're dug in. They don't listen. They talk. They don't listen. There's no compromise. There's no talking. And that's scary in itself. There's got to be a way to come together and solve solutions by speaking to each other and coming up with rational, reasonable, logical, but they just don't. And it's been going on, it's been broken for God knows how long. Because the Democrats are just as responsible in the past. Just as responsible. Not to this scale of, I mean, they said Obama was going to put martial law into place and FEMA camps and all this other shit. But now, it's like really happening with the militarization of the streets of the cities and of the country. It's like, can we see a curfew, a martial law kind of a situation? It's not out of the realm of possibility right now. So all that rhetoric that I heard in the past by those that were on the opposing side, now they're all rah-rah of what's going on now, and they don't even live in these cities. And the people that live in these cities, the majority of them are like, what the fuck? Of course, you're always going to find a few that are saying, yes, yes, yes. I guarantee the majority of people that live in D.C. are like, what the fuck is going on here? You know that the restaurant businesses have dropped. People are like, what the hell? That's why I say when it comes to New York City, people talked a lot of crap. I lived there. I know. Unless you live there, then you know. If you don't live there, you're just talking by listening what you hear or see on the news or podcasts. That's how you get your news. But you're not there. You don't really know what's going on the ground. You have to know people that are there or you're there. That's it. Because you cannot relate. You have to be there. Like when I hear all this shit about New York City, it's such nonsense. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. Crime during Ed Koch, when I was a little kid, was so insane. In the 80s, Dinkins. Oh, God. Crime was almost double statistically than it is today. And then Giuliani came in. Credit due. He started to bring those numbers down. But guess what? Even after Giuliani left, the numbers continued to go down. Crime is almost, in New York City statistically, half of what it used to be decades ago. So what the hell? It's at its all-time high. Crime is rampant. You would think it's the end of the world in New York City. It's actually safest that it's ever been, even including the numbers under Giuliani. They're still below Giuliani numbers. So what the hell's going on? I ride my bike going to the city. Beautiful, nice, peaceful. People are out. People don't look like they're living in fear. The city has 8+ million living in it. You don't think the numbers? Consider this, per capita, again. You got to remember, per capita, how many people live in that area and what is the crime statistics based on the populace of that area? New York City may have 130,000, and that's a lot. You hear that number. Oh my God, 130,000. There's 8.5 million people living there. Look at these smaller cities per capita. They're much more worse percentage-wise per capita in these cities. Look, just go look at what the top 10 cities are crime per capita. Majority are Republican. Where's D.C.? D.C.'s separate. They're not a state. That's why they tried this first. And you see what happened in California. There's lawsuits, all kinds of shit going on with that. But this is really a test case to move forward now. You have to pay attention to what's going on here. And you can't be ignorant. You have to be objective and look at what's going on in real time, what's going on. Like I said, I'm all for law enforcement coming in, Fed assistance to help cities clean up their crime rate. No doubt. And I'm sure a lot of cities would love it. Unless, that's another thing, these liberals need to wake up. They need to wake up. If they're offered federal assistance, not the National Guard, but other assistance, agents to come in, ICE, ATF, FBI, whatever it is, that's legitimate to me. Not National Guard. That's overkill. That's all for stunt. this is a publicity stunt like I've never seen. Because they're just standing around eating burgers. A lot of them are. I saw a video on my computer that they're fucking picking up garbage to clean the streets. They're sanitation workers now. Is it security or are they intimidating people? You know? This is. But anyway, these liberal mayors, and I know why they do it. Because, like I said, I lived in the city the majority of my life. I lived in the Bronx. It all started with stop and frisk. Because it seemed like they were targeting the minority community. And let me tell you, that's where the freaking crime is. Period. They could be in denial, whatever they say. But they didn't want to seem as mayors or public officials that they were going to bring in the Fed to target their minority communities. That's what it came down to. Though that's where the crime is. That's where the gangs are. And people do live in fear because they threaten their children. Or them. You're a snitch. We find out you're snitching, you're done. It's pretty much like that. That's the way it is. Another thing that they eliminated that was a good thing back in the past was community policing. People on patrol walking the neighborhood and getting to know the community, building the trust. There's a lot that can be done in a positive way. You need to build that trust within communities. So this is not an easy fix. There's a lot, it's complicated. But, I'm hoping, and Jesus Christ. Now look what, some people love it. Look what Gavin Newsom's doing, with trying to troll the president, doing like what he does. Look, really? Really? You want to, because he's trying to show people how it is to see it from the other side doing it, what he does. I guess that's his point of view. I'm like, dude, two wrongs don't make a right. Again, what are you doing? But he seems to be getting more popular by doing that with the base, with the Democrat base. Really? Is that what you're hoping on? Seriously? Really? Give me a break. It's like madness. Madness. I hope, and I don't know who that person is. I hope that we get somebody who's a moderate. And I don't know who that person is because I can't even think of anybody that would fit that role. I would prefer a Republican moderate, personally. But I don't know who that person is that's out there to bring this country back together. Somehow, some way. That something's got to give. And I hope it's not a bad give. But something's got to be done to bring this country like this way again. Not worse and worse and worse this way. Because it's actually gotten to the point of hate, anger. The rhetoric is in the gutter. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, respect is gone. It's like nobody respects. Morality is down the toilet. You can't even have a conversation with someone without it getting out of control. You really can't. They flip out. It's not good. Imagine me as an independent. I'm done. I'm toast with both sides. I'm toast. But the independent party is growing more and more because people are getting tired of this bullshit on both sides. And don't get me wrong, I would probably say more independents lean Republican than Democrat. Probably. Maybe not. It could be a lot of Democrats that said, I can't take this party anymore, and decided to go independent where they can vote freely on who they want to choose, not dug into party line. That's one of the big things why I did it. I was like, I'm tired of this shit. I am so tired. This is not the way to move forward. And that's just my opinion. Like assholes, we all have one. But we'll see what happens. I pray for the country. I pray for everyone. Everybody, you know, we all strive to live our lives peacefully, safely, prosperously, trying to build better lives for ourselves, our families, our communities, etc. That goes without saying. But when you have this such anger, animosity, hatred of people who think differently than you, and you demonize them, and they're considered the enemy, fellow Americans, that's just dangerous. And people need to realize that. That is dangerous. Because this doesn't end well if it gets worse. It just doesn't. It's not the way to move forward. There's a lot of negative energy there. The negative waves. Not the way. Not in my view. Not in my opinion. That's not the way to move forward. But we'll see what happens. And that's why I wrote that song this morning. Once I go on TikTok, I gotta calm down. And that's why I wrote this song with these lyrics this morning. Because I was thinking of all the things that are going on. Like, oh my God. I need to write a song. And that's why I wrote this song this morning, the lyrics.
A world of confusion. Is it fact or fiction? Conspiracies become the norm, feeding one's addiction, destroying credibility, erasing the stats, replaced by agendas, science under attack. Moving in
Of course, crime, I see what Race is saying. Of course, crime statistics fluctuate, but the overall numbers, generally, even on major felonies, is down. And the military, if like I said, the hypocrisy is sick because back in the day, they were talking about Obama, martial law, and now we're militarizing our streets, targeting blue states because if we look at the crime statistics per capita, the majority of the top 10 are red. Why don't we see them going into red states? Little Rock is one of them. Memphis, Tennessee is another one. Look at the statistics, top 10. You don't see them going in there. They're not going to, because the Republican governors are not going to have it. So it's hypocrisy. It has it written all over it. All over it. Hypocrisy. It's just so blatantly obvious. But again, I'm all for it if it's fairly done across the board and you're addressing it everywhere. But you don't do it like this because it's so obvious how it's being done. It's hypocrisy. And that's my problem with it. Oh no, I want to leave that. So I'm going to go on TikTok soon. Okay, so you can see right here, statistics. Now remember, DC is not a state, so it's a little different. Top total crime per capita. Remember, not based on raw numbers, per capita, populace. Memphis, what I said, number 1. Portland, blue. Detroit, blue. Seattle, blue. Baltimore, blue. Denver, probably blue. Nashville, red state. Philadelphia is just a mess. Houston, Texas, and San Antonio, Texas. Chicago per capita is not even on that list. Chicago's the next target. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of crime in a lot of places. But I want to see Tennessee, Texas. Let's see what happens there. And this is, again, see, it's per capita. Crime rate per 100,000. I wonder if it has the lowest. Look at this. Memphis, Detroit, and Baltimore lead violent crime. This is from 2024. Look at this. Texas is up there. Cities with the highest violent crime rates. Texas up there, Tennessee. The typical culprits here. Look, Phoenix, Arizona. Are we going to see them in Phoenix, Arizona? Or in Tennessee? Or in Texas? I highly doubt it. That's the hypocrisy. If you're going to do it across the board. Maybe we'll just pick one state at a time and maybe it'll eventually get to that city. Who knows? I don't think so. Personally, I don't see that happening. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. I'm going on TikTok now. And Little Rock has a lot too. Little Rock was up there. Crime statistics, Little Rock. Let's see. I'm trying to look for more recent statistics. Look at this. Crime rates in Little Rock. Total crime index. 1. 100 is safest. They fucking rank way low. Per 1,000 residents, violent crimes are 18 out of every 1,000. Little Rock compared to the state. Look at the national line. They're way up. 1 in 55 chance of becoming a victim of violent crime. Holy shit. They had no. Oh, that's United States. Property crime per square mile. Oh, it's just nuts. I don't think we're going to be seeing them going into Little Rock, though. I doubt it. Damn, it didn't say on when I went here. It's one of the most. It's up there in the crime, that's for sure. We just saw that map. But here, when I clicked on it, look what it says when I clicked on that site. Crime rate in Little Rock, Arkansas. The 2023 crime rate in Little Rock, Arkansas is 776, blah, blah, blah. It was highest than 99.3% of American cities. It was higher than 99.3% U.S. cities. That's just crazy. But this is a 2023 statistical. Now, over here it's saying it's dropping, according to their police department. A lot of homicides dropped from 2024. So that's good. 3 days ago. But they're very high in crime overall too. I mean, there's so many things you could look up, but you won't know about that at all. And I highly doubt we'll see the National Guard in Little Rock. Just saying. To be fair and objective, not driven by political party agenda, narrative. Speaking as once a Democrat, now an independent who's been living in a Republican county for 20 years and leans red. Like Trump was a Democrat at one point. I don't know if people remember that. So they can't use that. You know what I'm saying? Hypocrisy's a bitch. So, you know. I'm trying to find more updated stuff. Okay, let me see this one. There, it's right there. This is the latest stats. This was updated 2 weeks ago due to the FBI data report. Remember, you can't blame the FBI now for cooking the books because it's a different administration. According to the latest FBI report, okay? The latest. This is August 11th. This came out. We're going to click on that. Memphis, same one I said. Number 1. Wait, we're going to Chicago next. Remember, per capita. Population. Cleveland, Toledo, Little Rock, Illinois, Michigan. Oh, let's see the National Guard go there. Start small. Clean up these little cities. They'll probably be a lot easier than going right for the big ones, right? And they do have the highest crime rate. Let's go for the little ones first. We should try this first, right? Maybe experiment to see how we can get this down before we going into big cities. Like he said, I'm not going to walk into Baltimore. What does that mean? You're going to roll in tanks? Let's go for those. But you notice the majority of those are red states, right? We'll skip those for now. Or maybe forever. How convenient. Look at this. Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Texas. The top 10. The fucking top 10. Now there's in Illinois, you have a Democrat governor. But look at the other ones though. Red. And look at it. It goes on and on. The top 30. Oh, look at New York. Oh, look where Chris lives. Buffalo. They're up there. Albany. Oklahoma, Texas, South Carolina. I'm surprised Utah's there. Salt Lake. There's Chicago. Chicago's 16 on the list. Well, we're going there next. They're contradicting their own FBI report. Statistically with crime. This is the FBI. This ain't local police that you can say, oh, they're cooking the books. This is FBI. This is Pam Bondi, Kash Patel times. And this was the latest report. So what do you say? Louisiana. Look at this. Baltimore's there, of course. New York's not even on there per capita. New York's not even on there. Well, New York City. Buffalo is. Albany is. So what's up with that? I got to bookmark this. So let's click on the FBI report. It's coming right from the FBI. I mean, fuck. It's an FBI report. Though Newsweek is definitely leans. I believe, is it Newsweek that leans red or blue? I can't remember. But either way, you can look up the stats on the FBI site yourself. So, what's going on? Oh my God. It's Trump's FBI report. It's not Biden's FBI report. It's Trump's FBI report. That was just released a week ago. But you hear crickets. I don't hear anything. It's madness. It's madness because the hypocrisy is so obvious. It's so blatantly obvious what's going on. And like I said, I'm all for it if done the right way and fairly throughout the country, not targeting for political reasons, because it's totally political. And I think a lot of people that are not drinking Kool-Aid realize that. You know what I mean? If they're really honest with themselves, they see what's going on right in front of them. And believe me, it's blue and red Kool-Aid, both sides. Big time Kool-Aid drinkers. Big time. It's not good. Let me see. It's funny. It's actually not funny, to be honest. Not funny. I'm trying. Actually, this is a red. Oh my God. Trying to. It wants me. Let me go. I'm just gonna go. to here. Okay. I don't know if it's going to open. That's an overall. No, we don't want to do it that way. Very, very vague. Do you know they removed it? Do you know they fucking removed the FBI report? They didn't want people to see it. They took it down. I wonder why. I wonder why. I just went to the FBI site. They took it down. They don't want people to see it. Ain't that a bitch? I'm trying to dig to. I'm trying to see if I can find it somewhere. Because you got to go to the source. You can't use news articles. They took it down. Can you believe that? What, Mama?
One holds the shit on one side,
Mom, I'm live.
another dude holds the pee on one side. What kind of a body is this? A disposable a garbage bag, a garbage bottle.
I know.
Isn't that funny?
I'm going all over the FBI site.
I'm going to bed.
Go.
It's a beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful day.
This is old. Wow, their site sucks now.
I'm gonna go over
Very bad.
some of those trees out and put it on the side 'cause they're beautiful, those flowers.
All right, Mom, I'm live.
I'm going back to my bed. Those trees are beautiful. Wow.
It's not breaking it down for me. go so far. They removed it. They actually removed the list. That's terrible. And it's using I mean, I can print out this PDF. Look at this shit. This is coming from, look at this. Let me make this bigger. Look at this. Crime in the United States is not uniform. It varies widely from city to city. Among cities with over 100,000 residents, some face significantly higher crime rates than others. The FBI's 2023 reveals that Memphis, Tennessee currently has one of the highest crime rates in the nation. See, I don't want to use old data. Following Memphis is Detroit, Little Rock, but this is lower than 100. This is, look, I mean, if you break it down, look at this. Major cities often have moderate crime rates. For example, New York City, the nation's largest metropolis, had a 2022 homicide rate of 5.3 per 100. The numbers fluctuate. I mean, if I go to NYPD, and that's what somebody mentioned in chat, the numbers fluctuate, but the general trend is down. You expect that. And you got to go right here. This is where I go all the time for the crime statistics. Let's do historical. Where is historical? I know it's here. That's weekly historical. 7 citywide. That goes from 20. See, now it's not going back far enough, but that this still has the Giuliani years. 7 major offenses. Overall 184, 162. It's going down, 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 down. I'm sure it bumps up for the idiot that was in office. 126, 126. Actually dropped in 2023. But that's 123. Back in the day, it was 184 when Giuliani was in office. He brought it down, but the trend continued to come down, even a lot here after Giuliani. That was Bloomberg. And then what's his name? De Blasio came in and screwed everything up. And now the statistics have bumped up high. Look how low they were. And look how they bumped up. But still, overall, is crime at its worst in New York City? Hell no. Hell no. If you watch the media, you think crime is insane in New York City. That's not true. Ask a person who lived there, 70s, 80s, into the 90s, how it was insane. You couldn't, there's no way I would go to the South Bronx at night. There's just no way. Actually, I was going to a Yankee game, true story, when I worked at my father's restaurant in Hunts Point, which was considered the South Bronx. I'm driving to the game. It was nighttime, like getting dark. I stopped at a light. One gangbanger was on one side of the street, the other one was on this side, and they had a shootout right in front of my car. I was like, oh my God. I couldn't believe, I was like, oh my God. So, is it like that now? No. Is crime still there? Of course it is. Of course it is. And the numbers do fluctuate. There's probably more in certain neighborhoods, certain things happen. Like in my old neighborhood, grand theft was a big deal. Big deal. Not murder, that's for sure. Burglary, maybe up there, but not, it was grand theft. You know why? Because they were coming from other neighborhoods. I could call my friend right now. And this happened to his neighbor. They stole the tires off his car and put it on crates. And it happened like literally in minutes. That's a big deal. It's a big deal in my old neighborhood. Car theft is a big deal. Another thing that was a big deal, believe it or not, because they were worth money. Oh my God, the shit under the car. Oh my God, what was it called? It connects to them. Oh, I had it in my tongue. It's all with the exhaust system. Oh my God, what's it called? I just had it. Catalytic converters. Yes, Nick, catalytic converters. Yes, that's it. That's the one. Big thing. That was a big. But I'm talking about when I was there. That's a long time ago. I was like in my early 20s. It was just crazy. But you see, here's another true story. That neighborhood was mob controlled. I'm being honest. The Italian mafia controlled that neighborhood. They definitely thought twice about messing around in that neighborhood. I'm just being honest. Like, speak of what you say about John Gotti. You try to do something in Gotti's neighborhood. See what you get. That's what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, back then, I wouldn't go into the South Bronx at night. Hell no. I can't speak about what it is now. I can only speak about my experiences of the past. And I think of the subways with all graffiti. Go watch the movie Fort Apache the Bronx. You want to see crime and how fucking insane it was back then? Go watch a movie. It shows you. The South Bronx now is so unbelievably changed for the better. Because what happened was the real estate is running out in Manhattan. And now they're throwing out all the Section 8 people. All the poor people are being priced out. Especially with the rising costs that they do every year for rent. And they're pushing these people out so they can come in and take that property and start developing it and making it like another part of Manhattan. That's the facts. Not what you see on the news. That's the realistic part of it. It's not what it used to be. It used to be all burnt out. I mean, it was bad. It was really bad in the South Bronx. Now, there's houses in the South Bronx, worth $500,000 for a little fucking house. $500,000. And don't take my word for it. Go on Zillow or whatever and see. What happened? From burnt buildings to redevelopment, and the property values have skyrocketed. That's the realistic part of it, not the news media part of it, not the fear mongering, not the weaponization of fear. That's the reality, what's going on the ground. The crime in the subways when I was growing up was so insane. And when people say, oh my God, no. You don't know what it was like. You don't know what it was like. Because back in the day, oh my God. Ask my mom. She took the train every day to work, to the post office. So, it fits your narrative. That's exactly what it is. If it supports your political sway, of course you'll all go for it. That doesn't make it realistic, because you're just going based on what you see and hear, because they're selling you that. But when you live in these places and you know what's going on, you're like, what the hell? Yeah. Exactly, Nick. It's maddening, actually. I remember the cars graffitied. The city was so dirty. When I was a little kid, like in the early 80s, it was dirty. The city was fucking dirty, period. Litter everywhere. The subway cars all full of graffiti. Like I said, the South Bronx, most of it was like condemned or burnt out. It was sad to look at. And like I said, I wouldn't go in that neighborhood. Now, it's amazing. And what they did on the west side when I did my bike ride, you've seen it. It is stunningly beautiful, what they did down there. Stunning. I can't believe how beautiful it is compared to what I remember it. They've done a hell of a job in New York City on that west side where I ride the bike. Oh my God. It's amazing. And you can see you saw the video of my bike. They freaking put sand on a pier to make it like a beach. And people are laid out, chilling out. Different times. They built so many of these piers so that the people in Manhattan can go to a place where they can relax, enjoy the outdoors. It's not the way it was. Now, if you go into these poorer, because that's what it is, neighborhoods, the gangs, they just have control. This is the problem. And another thing that bothers me is that, and this is another thing, going on the flip side, when you see something horrific that happens, like what happened yesterday at that school, which is I don't blame the gun. I blame the person. It's the person. You have to look at that person's mental state. And of course they're going to jump on the person being trans. You know that. That's given. But, and the things that he put on, but he was hating on everybody. This person was, when I saw the video, because they showed it on the show yesterday, this person looked like they were possessed on the stuff that he was putting out there. I was like, this person talking different languages. I was like, this person looks really fucked up in the head. This person has serious mental issues, if not demonic. That's the impression I got. This person looks pure evil. But beside that, what drives me nuts is because that a lot of people, I would say 99 point whatever percent of the people that own guns are responsible gun owners. It's a crazy number. But what about these gangbangers on the streets every day? They make, and I'm not minimizing what happened yesterday at that Catholic school, but they were in the church. How many people die or get injured, innocent bystanders including, of course, every day in the cities by illegal guns? Illegal guns. Why aren't we making that more of a spotlight? Because that is the issue to me. That's where they need to target. That's who they got to go after. Because they're the ones controlling a lot of these neighborhoods, is these fucking gang members. At least in my situation when I lived in New York City, that was the case. I don't know how it is anywhere else. I can't speak about any place. And I'm not going to believe the news media either way, what they tell me. But from personal experience, I've seen it. It is. That's what they need to do. Like they did here. Like they did here. Came in, ATF, ICE, FBI, state, local, came in and arrested over 130 gang members right here. President Trump did that. And I wrote to him, I was like, thank you so much for doing that for them. And it did stay pretty good until Biden took office. And then I swear to God, it's like, oh, he's not going to do anything. He's not going to. See, that is an important factor. You got to put fear in these criminals. So it does work. It's just how you implement it and the right way to implement it. And not crossing certain boundaries of power. But it was amazing. And they need to do that. They need to do that. Screw that. And yeah, there's a trust factor between, it's not so much of a trust factor of the people that live in these communities. It's the fear they have of those that are in control of these communities, which are the gangs. They fear them. They're scared. They're scared for themselves, their families, and their children. That's what it comes down to. That's the reality. So, and then I can go to a Republican site and they're going to put all the talking points that the Republicans and their base eat up like meat. I can go to a blue liberal site that throws out the meat for their base. I don't trust them because they're driven by an agenda to continue the support and continue them to eat their popcorn and enjoy whatever they're being fed. That goes without saying. But the reality is what's going on in plain sight. And if you live there and you experience it and you know. That's really, like I said, here, I've been living here 20 years. There's never been a murder. There's never been there was a kid when I first moved here in the neighborhood. He was addicted to crack. It was sad. And he would wait for people to go on their vacations or see a house that was for sale, and he would go in and steal the copper piping so he could sell it for his drug addiction. And he was a teenager. He is the only person in this neighborhood that's ever committed a crime in 20 years. In my neighborhood. Nothing happens here. Nearby it does, in that city I was just talking about, but here, nothing happens. The police here are incredible. They're awesome. And I wish everybody could live in a place like this. Sadly, that's not the case. And like I said, a big element. There are two really big elements. Gang bangers that control neighborhoods and addiction, especially drug addiction. Because they need to, if they're not working, most likely, that may be the case. And they're just trying to support their habit. And they'll get desperate to the point where they'll hold up somebody to steal, rob a store, rob a person. A lot of it is also tied to drug addiction or an addiction period. To be realistic about things. But I know from living in New York City, it was the gangs who really controlled neighborhoods, recruiting little kids to sell for them. Oh, you'll make a lot of money. Flashing the money in front of them, you get new sneakers, new phones, new this, Fuck school. You got to break that chain. And how you break that chain is you go right for the head and you take them out. That's how you do it. So I'm all for that. 100% for that. I can tell you so many stories that are real, not media hype, not agenda driven, real experiences. Like going into a homeless shelter on Randall's Island, New York, and seeing what a high percentage of veterans, this is at the time, this is back in the early 2000s, and seeing how they lived there in this fucking disgusting, filthy shelter. And a lot of them had either addictions, mental health issues, and you know what they would do? What a fucking system. It was so... This is why I am so for supporting veterans, because what I witnessed is actually the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life being done to human beings. And there's other people that lived in that shelter too. I'm just saying, I specifically, because I seen a person that I knew and became friends with. He was a veteran, and he died in that bed. I was so on when they would get their money. It's so fucked up. It is so fucked up. Part of their money was taken to keep them sheltered in the shelter. Then they would get the rest of the money. You know what they would do right away? Go out, get the alcohol, get the drugs. I would find syringes, drug paraphernalia in the bathrooms, all over the place. And it was them. Because they weren't getting treated. And guess why they weren't getting treatment? First of all, New York City, I don't know who was in charge. Oh, it was Giuliani. That's right. They cut the funding. They actually closed down a lot of mental health hospitals. That's one. Two, and I asked a person that was in charge of the shelter, how is this happening? Why aren't they getting the proper treatment for their addictions or PTSD or mental health issues? Guess what he told me? This is a true story. We cannot force them. They have to volunteer. I was like, what? Because the law got changed. Giuliani screwed the system up for that because they wanted to save money. They budget cuts. So this is what they would do. They would take them on tours to go out to a halfway house. A halfway house is a temporary shelter off of the shelter actually area. So it's like it could be a 2-story brick building with people that work there, staff to oversee what goes on there. And then they would put them in these temporary housing facilities. They called them halfway houses. When they thought that they were able to live on their own, they got them their own apartment. And a part of how that worked is the city would pay for some of the cost of that rent, and they were obligated, I think, to 1/3. I can't remember the number. They were responsible from their personal checks 1/3 of the cost. How long do you think that lasted? 3 months if you're lucky. Why? They still had addictions. They still had issues. They were not fully responsible. Guess where they would end up back? At the shelter. Same fucking shelter. It was insane. It was a revolving circle. And who's making money off this? The shelter system. They're not resolving the issue. It's just going like this. Nobody gives a fuck. The veterans are not getting the care they need, or anybody else in that shelter, period. It's just a revolving door going circle, circle, circle. And it was so sad to see that. And that's why I am such, oh my God, so passionate about trying to help veterans any way I can. Whether it's programming, get the word out, I'm so into it because of what I personally witnessed and experienced, seeing what veterans are probably to this day going through. And that is just so tragically sad. So that's another example. So when people use their mouths so loosely without knowing specific details of how the mechanisms are going on in certain places, I totally ignore them because they don't really know what the situation is on the ground. They don't. It's through experience, being there and seeing it for yourself, not judging it from a distance, but to experience it for yourselves. And I'm sure people have experiences themselves that may speak contrary to what I'm saying. But in my case, that's what I've seen and witnessed. Everybody has life experiences that are different. And it affects their makeup, obviously. So it's not because my way is happening everywhere. In my instance, it's happening there. It was happening there. Another thing, and I can call my cousin right now who's a principal of a school. I don't know if he's still there at that school in New York City. Graduated from Binghamton University. Two of them, actually. Two of my cousins. This is how that system worked in the city for the educational system. The teachers that are just coming out of college, university, where do you think they would end up teaching? Remember, they have the lowest rank. They're just fresh coming out. They were put in the poor neighborhoods because teachers that had seniority were going to go teach at neighborhoods of their choice. You think they want to teach in the South Bronx? The more experienced teachers, because of their seniority, would go to the nicer neighborhoods to teach. So the poorer neighborhoods are left with inexperienced, though of course they went to school for it, the rookie teachers, or the teachers with not that many years under their belt. That's the educational system how it was in New York City. So the teachers with the least experience were at the poorer neighborhoods, while the richer neighborhoods had the teachers with the most experience. That's just the way it was. I don't know if that still exists today, but that's the way it was. There's a lot of different elements that are involved here. Lots. That's why I say it's not black and white. It's complicated. There's a lot of factors involved on things. People may see it as they break it down as simple as they want to see it, but it's a lot more complicated than that. There's a lot of factors involved. Businesses, small businesses. Why do you think New York City was against, and I don't even know if they have one yet, a Walmart? Why do you think New York City didn't want to do that? They didn't want to destroy all the small businesses because there's so many of them. There's like a bodega on every corner. New York City. I mean, there's literally like a grocery store on every corner in New York City almost. What would happen if you had a Walmart? Done. It kills all those small businesses. Done. I don't think New York City has, in the 5 boroughs, I still don't think they don't have a Walmart. Because of that. They didn't want to destroy the small businesses. Why are there no Walmarts in New York City? Walmart, the largest retailer in the world, does not operate any of its signature big box stores within New York City's 5 boroughs. And they need a big square area. That's a big thing, a zoning law, regulations. Here it is. You think I'm talking bullshit? Fiercely competitive New York City grocery market. New York City's grocery industry is fiercely competitive with multiple well-entrenched chains. Key players including Western Beef, I used to go to that, Associated, Food Bazaar, Stop and Shop, etc. These experienced operators have honed smaller store formats optimized for urban settings. Eroding their loyal customer bases would be an uphill battle for Walmart. Bullshit. Bullshit. Because if you put a Walmart up in New York City, people are going to go, of course, to shop. Even though it's crazy now, the prices are going insane. Do you realize how much the price of beef and everything else is going up now? Walmart would be disastrous for New Yorkers. And it doesn't look good. They're saying overcoming the barriers of high real estate costs, zoning laws, fierce incumbents, and political opposition poses major challenges for Walmart establishing a store presence in New York City. However, consumer shifts to e-commerce and delivery could make Walmart smaller stores formats, a smaller Walmart, more viable in the future. But it's for now it remains locked out of New York City's highly coveted brick and mortar market. That's what I was saying. It would affect the smaller businesses. So think of all the mom and pop stores, little hardware stores, grocery stores, anything. And once a Walmart comes into the neighborhood, a lot of those businesses shutter. They can't compete. They just can't. Because everybody's going to Walmart. Look what's going on with online purchases now. A lot of people shop online. So again, you have to look at different areas when you break things down. There's a lot involved. What does the local economy look like? Jobs. Like up here, a lot of people up here work in the city. They commute. They take the Metro North and they commute to the city and they come back. Believe it or not, a lot of the law enforcement, first responders that work in New York City don't live in New York City. They live in the surrounding areas. I don't know if they tried to, at least that's the way it was. I don't know if they tried to say, oh, you must live in New York City to work if you're a police officer, firefighter, etc. I don't think that's the case. And I need to check that. Because I heard whispers of that in the past. I don't think they ever enforced it. Because that would be insane in itself. Like Adams. Look at this. This is from a conservative paper, the New York Post. Look what this idiot said. Adams says it makes no sense cops aren't required to live in New York City. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? People could live wherever as long as they get to work and they do their jobs. Are you telling me you're going to tell them where they can live or not? Are you nuts? And this is their mayor. Now, are you kidding? You're going to tell police officers, firefighters that they can't live outside the city? They know how bad the city is. They deal with the crime every day. That's their job. And you're telling them he doesn't know why they're not required to live in New York City? Are you mad? Are you insane? You're going to tell people where they can and cannot live? And where their kids go to school? I mean, what's wrong here? See, on the same side, on the liberal side, that's insanity. That's just downright insanity. So there's craziness on both sides. I mean, my gosh, how could you do that? And I don't know what they're gonna see. People say, "Oh, what do you think about New York? Your mayor in New York? He's not my mayor." Or the guy that's running for mayor, he's not my mayor. I don't live in New York City. Whatever they do down there, that's on them. I don't care. I do not care. I care what happens here. When they tried to send the undocumented to hotels up here, oh, did they have a rude awakening when New York City was trying to send undocumented people to go into the hotels and all this shit up here. Our counties went to court. And I put a stop on that right away. Done. You're not going to bring New York City shit up here. That's not our problem. You did it. That has nothing to do with us. You can't just now drop that on us up here that you decided to do down there. That's your problem. That's not our problem. And that's not to be a cold-hearted person. That's just the reality of the situation. So there's a lot of game on both sides. Both sides. Not one side. Both sides have a lot of bullshit going on. But obviously, if I was a dug-in Republican, I would target the Democrats for anything. If I was a dug-in Democrat, I'm going to target the Republicans for anything. That's just the nature of the beast. It's the way it goes. It's politics. It's always been that way. But again, with the growth of the independent party, even though like it could be a person that leaned right or left, a lot of more people are looking for a moderate option, a moderate choice than this extremist on both sides shit. People are like frustrated looking at all the craziness that's going on. And it's growing. It's actually growing more and more. Alexa, how many people represent the independent party percentage-wise in the United States?
Independents make up about 43% of registered voters in the U.S., but they're underrepresented in Congress. Currently, there are only 2 independent senators and no independent representatives in the House.
You know why, right? How many times is an independent running on a ticket? They have to choose between a Democrat or a Republican. That's why.
Independent candidates don't have to choose between Democrats or Republicans.
I didn't say
They
that.
can run on their own ticket, but face significant challenges like collecting petition signatures and raising awareness. Historically, while many have run, few have won major offices.
Alexa, stop. And that's the reason. But 43%. Alexa, how many individuals represent the Democratic Party in the United States?
As of March 13th, 2025, there are 260 Democrats in
Oh,
Congress.
Jesus Christ.
213
Alexa,
in
stop.
the U-
Alexa, out of the population in the United States, how many are Democrats voting? Vote Democrat.
As of July 2025, about 46% of U.S. adults identified as Democrats or lean Democratic. This includes both those who directly identify as Democrats and independents who lean toward the Democratic Party.
And what about Republicans?
As of July 2025, 43% of U.S. adults identified as Republicans or leaned Republican. This includes both those who directly identify as Republicans and independents who lean toward the Republican Party.
That's what I said. So you have independents that lean both sides, obviously. And it's really close. But a lot of those...
Yes, the current political landscape shows a close balance between Democrats and Republicans. As of July 2025, 46% of U.S. adults identified as Democrats or leaned Democratic, while 43% identified as Republicans or leaned Republican.
Alexa, stop. Now, that's why the independent vote can determine what happens in any election. Because they can go either way. They may lean particularly to any way, but they're important. They're an integral part of the voting process. And for the last presidential election, a lot of independents voted for President Trump, including Democrat-leaning ones, Hispanic specifically. That was a big one, especially in Pennsylvania. But where are they now? Where are they now? That's the question. And I don't like going to polls because polls are misleading. Even if I picked up the phone and took part in the poll, what I say here may not necessarily be what I'm thinking when I walk into that area to vote. I don't trust polls. I just don't. But I will say a majority of the polls right now are showing that Trump is underwater by in the teens and 20s on all major policies with independents. That is not a good trend. That's just not good. He's actually below Biden numbers with independents right now. That's even crazier to think. But there's still a lot of time before 2026, November. A lot can happen. A lot of good things could happen for the country. So people need to just chill out and see how everything plays out And I'll be honest, give things a chance, see how this all, like I said, plays out. Give it a time. Just don't go nuts immediately. See how policies play out. And then you make a rational, logical, personal decision how you vote in the next election, midterms or otherwise. Unless you're dug in by party, then it doesn't matter. But for those independents, like me, I need time. I'm not going to be rash and freak out, even though the flags are up. There's no question there's many flags up for me right now. But at the same time, I don't know if he's up to run again. I voted Republican for my school district. Recently, I voted Republican. Now, I don't know who's running. I haven't checked who's up in my area for the midterms. I got to do my research. It's still early for that, though. But I will. I definitely got to do some research on the candidates or the incumbent. I know who the incumbent is for the House, and there is no way I'm not voting for him. He's got my vote. And he's a Democrat. But I don't know. I have to look. You know, it's like I said, it's still early. It's over a year away. But I'm not going to sit here and be dug in by party line to do just toe the line. I want to do what's best, the person that's best representative for the constituents in my community. What are the concerns? Cost of living, bring it down. Property tax, bring it down. School tax, at least keep it stable. You know, there are things that are important to you. The cost of electricity, thank God I got solar. Thank God. The cost of electricity is going off the rails. Across the country, by the way. It's not, I don't know what's going on in Canada, fringe, but here, the cost of electricity is going up pretty much across the country, generally speaking. And what did they do with the big, beautiful, ugly bill? They killed the solar tax credits for New York, targeting a blue state. To me, that was targeted. Again, killed the solar industry. Because they're against green. They're all for fossil fuel. That's a fact. Just like the Democrats are more for green and against fossil fuel. That's a policy thing. But it's going to hurt a lot of people. And it's going to cost a lot of people. Cost. Not, right away they bring up the batteries. The fucking batteries mean nothing to me. Zero. They have zero impact. I didn't buy them. Because they're tens of thousands of dollars for a solar battery. For what? For when the power drops? I've got generators that run on gas. Fine. I'm okay without the battery. But what about the solar itself? I've saved thousands. In 1 year, I've saved thousands using solar power than depending on that grid. And I can prove it. Prove it. Show me your... Let me see my old electric bill compared to the electric bill that I'm paying now, which is... You know what I just paid today for my electric? $39. Why? $30 fucking dollars of it is a connection fee to stay connected to the grid. And the rest is taxes. Otherwise, my electric bill would have been zero. I'm paying $125 for my panels per month. Locked. What gives? What the heck? So we're going to punish people for paying less for their utility. And not everybody qualifies for solar. Not anybody lives in a place where they can have solar. They might live in an apartment building. Or in a place where they live near the coast where it's constantly foggy and cloudy. Or they have too many trees on their property. Shade. The roof isn't facing the proper way. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I get that. But for those that can, it's going to save you a lot of money. So, what about that? So I got to make a choice here. But they're taking that choice away from a lot of people. Do I pay increasing rates for the local utility company? Or do I have a fixed rate leasing panels for 20 years at a fixed rate where I know my shit's never going to go up, but I know they are. But see, some states will still do whatever they can for their residents to give them incentive. The Fed might say, screw you, but that doesn't mean that the state isn't going to step in and provide incentive-driven credits. So there's the little catch with that. But I can call the owner of the solar company that works in multiple states, and he will tell you how insane it is. And it goes in effect January 1st, 2026. So all these people that are doing solar projects better get their shit done by December 31st to qualify for 2025 credit. Yeah, with your winters, yeah, like I said, a lot of places due to climate, a lot of snow, but these are heated. That's another thing. These solar panels are heated. When the snow goes, it slides right off. They're heated. You know, the technology is advanced. It's not what you think. Now, if I have heavy snow, like 1 to 2 inches per hour, those panels are going to have a hard time keeping up to keep that snow off. I mean, that's just common sense. But it will slide right off. It's unbelievable. I look at it, I'm like, holy, like I'll be sitting here. It might have happened when you see me streaming. I'll hear a noise. Boom, boom. It's the snow sliding off the panels. It's wild. But because, and you know what's a funny thing I heard a congressperson say the other day? They were building wind turbines in New England. I couldn't fucking believe it. What bunch of shit this is. Oh, we have to protect the environment, the whales. And I'm like, oh, so all of a sudden you became environmental protection people when you destroyed the EPA? Now you want to enforce it? Because it's wind turbines, that's why. All of a sudden they became environmental protectionist people, despite the hypocrisy that they pretty much destroyed the EPA. That's the hypocrisy. It's so mind-boggling insane. The hypocrisy. When it suits them. That's the key. It's unbelievable. It makes me like ill. Okay, so right now, I gotta be careful. We gotta stop sharing the screen. Today it's kind of cloudy. Let me show you what's. Oh shit, I can't do that. I don't think I can do that. Shit. Maybe I could slide this. Hold on. Because it has my personal information on it. Fuck. I'm gonna have to squeeze this box down. I can't do it. Let me go to energy. No, it's still gonna have it there. Trying to get rid of that area. Maybe like that. Okay, this is total. This is for today. This is just for today. Cloudy day. Let me make sure I don't got my shit there. This is today. Just right now. Today. And this is updated constantly because I'm connected directly to my panel. I've imported 5 kilowatts. I've produced 20. I exported 16. So far, I'm in the plus by 11.6 kilowatts. I'm giving the grid energy. I get credits for that. Those credits are crucial to build up for the winter when there's less sunlight. Shorter days, shorter sunlight. That's crucial. So I don't have to depend on that grid during the winter. Even on a cloudy day, I'm in the plus. Now, obviously, the AC is not on, or the pool. Let me go to another little stat. And this is what I mean. People talk shit, but they don't know what they're talking about. Because, they go based on what they hear or see or whatever. It's mind-boggling again. It's just mind-boggling. Okay. I want to go history. Life status. I'm doing pretty good. I'm producing 5.6 kilowatts right now. Out of that, I'm using 0.8. I'm exporting 4.9. That's the life status. I'm trying to get the month. I keep forgetting how to do it. Manage. We don't want to manage. The panels are working fine. It also tells you which panels are working the best right now, live. It shows you the production on my roof. So these are the way the panels are running on my roof right now. That's all the panels on my roof. Garage, roof. Those are my panels. Lifetime, year. This is it. Okay, but that's not the year for the array. We want to go to energy by the month. Let's look at August. Why don't we? This month. Holy shit. The ACs were going nuts. And the pool. So look at, with the AC in the pool, normally if I wasn't on the grid, I'd be paying $400 a month electricity on the grid. Summer months kill me. In the past, not anymore. Not because solar changed that. I produced 1.0 megawatts. I exported 661. I imported 449. I gave, in the month of August so far, I've given the grid 162. So I'm in the plus, which means I am paying zero for electricity. Only the connection fee and what I pay for the panels. This would have cost me at least $400 if I was just dependent on the grid. At least. My total cost, $160. What's up with that? And people don't realize how, if they qualify, due to weather, how much they'll save. But people right away will bring up, well, the batteries are expensive. I don't care. I don't have any batteries. I don't need them. Because that'll be the first thing they say. The batteries are expensive. Yeah, they are. But I don't need them. It's not, the solar panels are working fine. Now, last month was hot. July was hot. I mean, really hot. Look at the numbers. AC's going, pool's going. Total energy for July. I produced 1.2 megawatt. I consumed 1.1. I still broke out ahead by 35 kilowatts. I still was ahead of the game despite all that electrical use. I still was in the plus, barely, but I was. Electric bill, $39. That would have cost me like $500 otherwise. But we're going to kill solar. We're going to kill it. It'll literally save you thousands of dollars if you meet the criteria for solar. It'll save you thousands, depending on, obviously depends where you live. Everybody's getting solar here because they know. They know to get it now before it's too late. That's the facts. Those are facts, not opinion, not politically driven, agenda driven. These are the facts based on my personal experience. Not me saying this, that, I dug up this. No. It's real. It's happening. So, again, not everybody can get solar because of situation. It could be trees. You live in an area near the coast where there's a lot of fog and you're not going to get that sunlight. It's a waste of time. You live in an apartment building. You know, there's so many different reasons why you may not get. Your roof may not be able to support them. Then you got to redo your roof. Do you really want to do that and pay for a new roof? For what? Spend thousands of dollars to save a few hundred a month? So there's a lot, again, there's a lot of factors involved to get solar. There's a lot of things that you have to, a lot of requirements you have to meet. So it's obviously not for everyone. But for those who can, like me, I love it because I'm saving so much money every year. I would like to call my friend Mike, who lives in New York City, and Con Edison is like one of the highest rates. You don't know what they charge per kilowatt per hour. I bet you he's spending $600-700 a month on electricity. He's got central air. I guarantee he's spending a fortune on electricity. And he works for Con Edison. He's a freaking supervisor. I bet you he's paying a fortune. And I tried to tell him, get solar, dude. But he's a procrastinator. He puts things off. That's the way he is. He's always been that way. He procrastinates. It's like, dude, you're running out of time. It's too late now. We're in August. It takes about 4 to 5 months to get your panels installed, inspected, all that. It took me 5 months. For the whole thing. They had to put a new circuit board in their panel. I had to redo my roof in certain areas. It was a project. Then the town has to inspect. The utility company has to inspect. There's a lot of shit they got to go through to get it approved. So it took about 5 months. But I'm happy, joy. I mean, really. In 2 months alone, I saved $800. No, that's not true. About 600. In 2 months. And that too, the smart meter. That's another thing. Do you know how much they charge people for water now? My neighbor got hit with a water bill that was $400 because they had the meter. I was like, what? And allegedly there was a leak, dripping, just from a drip. I could call him right now. He'll tell you. He won't tell you. He'll tell me. $400 for fucking water. I have a well. I pay $0. And yes, I test my water every year. So people, they're so accustomed to accepting everything across the board. Don't accept everything. Go look into options. I mean, I don't understand. But, you know, everybody's different. Matter of fact, I'm going to call him. Because I got to see when he's coming. Where's my phone? He went to... I think he and his wife went to London for a few days, and then he went to his home country. He was in Cyprus. He called me chilling out from Cyprus. He should be home by now. Because I got to see when he's coming up. I fixed the mower myself. Oh my God, what the hell is all this? Oh my God. A lot of BS.
Hello?
Are you home?
Billy?
Did you make it? You made it back home?
Yeah, I got back last night, Billy.
Good for you. How was it? How was your trip?
Oh, it was beautiful. Long, but it was okay. I had a good time.
Did you get your latest water bill? Is it 400 again or no?
I didn't get it yet.
How much
I don't know.
how much was it?
It was like 500 something.
Oh my God.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Twice.
twice?
Yep.
Holy, but I bet you since he fixed that, it's probably nothing no more.
Yeah, I'm going to let you know when I get the bill. So,
What is the normal amount that you pay?
normal amount, 100 something.
Oh my God, it almost tripled in price.
Yep. Yep.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How much do you pay for Con Edison for your electric bill every month?
I don't pay, they pay.
Oh, it's included?
Yeah, it's included. They pay the tenants.
Oh, okay. No. I'm not talking about here where you live in the city.
Oh, in the city, 120, 110.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, summertime like 200, 220.
Oh shit, that's not bad at all.
No. And because AC is running almost every day, you know.
Is it a big apartment or no?
It's big, 3 bedroom.
Wow, that's awesome. So it's not as bad as I thought for Con Edison.
No, because now, 3 bedroom, but, my daughter moved out. My son is not here, so it's not bad.
Yeah, it's less. Yeah,
It's only me and my wife.
Yeah, so you don't have to like be running all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
No. Billy, this guy that did the roof, did he clean it out?
I don't know. There was a couple of pieces of wood. There was still the plywood in the backyard leaning. The ladder last I checked, and a couple of pieces in the front. But the place looks clean. I don't know if he.
Oh, good.
I don't know if he came to pick up the rest of the stuff from the house though.
Okay, I'm gonna be there this weekend. I might stop by, but he finished everything. That cement and then the wall going down to the basement. He sent me a picture.
And I want to show you the mower, the belt.
Okay, so when I come, I'm gonna be there Saturday.
Call me.
Hopefully, I call you and then we'll get the model number of the machine and I order it.
Okay. All right. Call me when you come. Call me when you come up.
Okay, Billy. Thanks.
All right. See you then.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. See, but it's only him and his wife, and they only probably have the one AC running in the room, or when he doesn't have that. You know what I mean? It's only me and mom, but I got a shitload of electrical equipment constantly running, and the pool. I mean, he's got less, but still 220 is pretty high. That's still more than what I'm paying. That's still more than what I'm paying. 500 over 500 for 2 months for water. That's sick. Yeah, water and electricity is a killer. Think about that. Think about that. For water and electricity. But see, people don't understand. I want to call my friend Mike. He's got a 2-story house in the Bronx. I want, because he works for them. He's a supervisor. He's probably on the street right now watching a job. He sits in his car all day while they're doing the work, and then he inspects. That's if he picks up, because he never picks up the phone. Oh, get out of here. What a... Oh, I didn't think so. I didn't think so. It went right to voicemail. I didn't think so. I thought he picked up. See? That's what he does all the time. That's Mike. I'm curious to see what he pays for electric. It's got to be a lot of money. I don't know if he pays. He has to pay for water. He gets city water. It's like a scam. And people are okay with this. That's what makes me... It's not funny, but it makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh. Again, facts matter. Not opinion. Not political bullshit. Facts matter. And it's surprising that it's coming from this administration that they're putting actual data, because anything that they don't agree with, you're fired. If you do anything that is against their agenda, you're fired. Or even worse, if you speak out against them, you're going to be arrested. That's the way it is. They're scaring everybody into submission. Oh my God. Oh shit. So this is... It's kind of funny too, because the prices dipped. Well, a lot of that had to do with what happened in 2020. And it's funny. Look how low gas was right before the 2020 incident. And the president was there, and it skyrocketed, and now it's continuing to drop. I hope that heating oil thing stays exactly where it is right now, and gas, keep that shit low. But the electricity, this is a graph coming from the current administration statistics, to be clear. So this is U.S. electricity prices continue to steady increase right here. And a lot of this is also projection for here. But you could see from 2022, it pretty much stabilized. This is actually going up now. Natural gas bumped up. Gas continually is dropping. When the thing happened in 2020, you could see how shit spiked under President Trump and Biden. Then it started to come down. And it's continually to come down, except for this. Electricity. Electricity is continually growing and going up. That's the one constant. So people are going to pay more. And this is coming from the United States Energy Information Administration, so it's coming from that source. I just hope that oil prices stay this way, because that's a killer for me to heat the house. Natural gas, look at heating oil, it really dropped. And the prediction is going to, because this is a good trend. I hope that unless there's some kind of crazy war or something that raises the prices in the Middle East or something, this is a good trend. And yes, it started with Biden, and the trend is continuing. Remember, this is the pandemic, or whatever people want to call it. That's this. But the one constant, like I said, is electricity. Look at this. It's almost up 20%. So continue to pay your electric bill prices. It's continuing to go up. Good luck. Because they're pretty much destroying the other option. Does that make any sense? Or does that make any literal dollars and cents worthy to people to save money? No. Everybody worries about the economy and cost of living and how much it costs. So what about that? Nobody cares about that? Really? That's a big one for me because that's the one that doesn't fluctuate that much. That one constantly climbs. In that whole chart, since 2018, it never even dips once. It's continuing to go like this. Again, facts matter. Facts matter. Data matters. Statistics matter, which in some other areas, you're going to see the removal of statistics and data historically because they're trying to erase history. In some cases, redefine history or put history in a totally different context, suitable to what they want it to be. So these are the flags. They're everywhere. And that's just the reality of it. Whether the people want to be in denial, accept it, cheer it, it's on other people. What they do, I don't care. I have to worry about here and what I'm dealing with and how it affects me. That's the bottom line. That should be the bottom line for everyone. And don't let the politics get in the way. Do what's best for you. Oh my God. I could do this all day. Because there's so much misinformation. Or not even... It's almost like they mix facts with exaggerations and just outright lies. It's hard to get like a straight, definitive, factual answer to anything. And it confuses everyone. It's crazy. It really is. It really is crazy. I'm trying to see. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. This is another one that's going to roll. This one's going to roll in slowly, and most likely most of it's going to be implemented after the midterms. I wonder why. This Medicaid map shows federal funding received by each U.S. state. You know they're cutting that, gutting it. Federal assistance for each state. New York gets hardly nothing. They're on the lowest of the scale. People would think that New York gets a lot of Medicaid assistance. That's not true. Actually, with the cost of Medicaid, SNAP, any assistance, what people would call entitlements, New York is in the black. They give more to the federal government than receive from the federal government. They put more into the pot than receive. Unlike Kentucky, who's on the top of the list of receiving federal money instead of putting into it, they're in serious dependency of the federal government. And those are stats that you can look up. Look at this. Kentucky, red. Alabama, red. South Carolina, Arkansas, New Mexico, blue are the top states. But West Virginia, look at this. Look at this. Mississippi is the state that receives the most support from the federal government to run Medicaid. 77% of that state is dependent on federal money. Good luck. Good luck. Those in Mississippi, but your people voted for it, but you're going to hurt from it. You're going to hurt in Mississippi. You're also going to hurt in the next one on the list, West Virginia. 74% dependency assistance from the government. Kentucky, Alabama, South Carolina, Arkansas, and New Mexico, which is the only blue state on this list. Out of those 7 states that received the most federal support, 6 of them voted for Trump. What is wrong with that picture? Why do you think at town halls they're hostile? You went along with it. You voted for it because they know it's going to hurt them. They can't even speak at town halls. And this is in ruby red. There's no Democrats. Red town halls. They're getting shouted down, booed, yelled at because they're calling them, I don't want to say names, but they are saying you complied. You went along with it and you're going to hurt us. And that's what they're doing. They're not even worried about what their constituents are going to suffer the cost of it. And Medicaid, of course, with that, snap. Remember, the rise of groceries, it's going up. Everything's like going up. Walmart said we're raising prices. When they remove all the undocumented workers from the farms, who's replacing them? Let's say it, American citizens. How much labor is that going to cost them compared to what they were paying undocumented? Is it legal? They have to get minimum wage? What is minimum wage? How much is it going to cost the farmers now to have them pick that? And that you think they're going to eat that cost? The cost is going to be handed down to the consumer. So all this shit that you love, vegetables, produce, all that, it's going to go up. Because you're removing, and I get it, but remember, you're going to pay. Literally, you're going to pay. It's that simple. The farmers, what are they going to let their crops die? They got to get somebody to pick it, right? Or eat the cost. That's why I'm expecting a big farm bailout soon. I predict that one. That's an easy prediction. You're going to see soon a farm bill, a big one, to bail out the farmers. Watch. That's easily predictable. Because they're going to have to. Do you see what I'm saying, though? But people don't look at it that way. They don't dig into the details, the specifics. Careful what you wish for, because you just might get it to pay more. Forget about the tariffs and the imports and the cost that's going to be handed down to the consumers. That's one thing. But this is internal. This is stuff that's made in USA and grown in USA. Now remember, those same farms produce the feed, the crops needed to feed livestock, cattle, poultry, whatever. If it costs more for them, it's going to cost more for that feed for them in that industry, which is going to make it cost more for all of us for everything we get from that. Dairy, everything. So people, wake up. You're about to pay a lot more, or we are about to pay a lot more. It all connects. It trickles down somewhere. No? Disagree? If you disagree, come back in 3 months and then talk to me. I mean, it's just insane. And that's not even to consider other climate issue related stuff like droughts that can affect crop, or avian flu disease that can affect. There's a lot of different things that can affect that. China, poor farmers for soy. China has cut dramatically the soy already. Those farmers are suffering already. They were big. That was a big market for soy. Let's see. China soy imports U.S. 1 day ago. 1 day ago. Poor farmers. China remains absent from U.S. soybean market. And they were the world's top importer for soybean. American farmers have said the stalemate leaves them headed toward a financial precipice. Look how this is bad. So that's why do you think the trade thing was extended 90 days? Because they know. They know the holidays are coming. They know a lot of what we depend on, Christmas toys, all kinds of stuff, clothing, sneakers, shoes, electronics, appliances, power tools. A lot of it comes from China. And they know they don't want this to hit for the holidays. They'll wait till after the holidays, then they'll do it. But right now, they're not being stupid about it. That's why they had to put it off 90 days, because they know how much it was going to hurt people. The impacts. Right in time for the holidays. Because it takes time for it to cause an effect. Inventory, supply and demand chain, that whole deal. So, let me see this chart. I don't know if I could bring it up high. Brazil. Most of the soybean exports to China occur from November to April. So they have yet to feel that effect yet. This is going to be a big freaking gauge to look at. You know they're going to get that trade deal hopefully done by November. Those farmers are going to suffer if they don't. They've got to get something done before November, because that's what it said. Most of the export to China happens between November and April. I wouldn't be surprised if that 90-day extension wasn't connected to that either. I guarantee they'll get that shit sorted. They have to before November, before these farmers suffer like that, just from the soybean market. So again, there's a lot of things that you got to pay attention to. I ordered stuff on Walmart 2 days ago. Yes, I drink diet soda. It went up by 22. Uh-oh. What's up, John?
Hey, are you in your pool?
Hell no, it's too cold.
No, that's what I thought.
What's going on?
So, think she'd be available till later.
What's her time zone?
Oh, Eastern Standard Time.
So let's do 5. Let's do 5 p.m. Tuesday. That should give her enough time to come back from teaching, right?
5 to yeah. I'll check with.
All right, check.
So
Because
tentatively Tuesday 5 to 6, and then we use that as the first hour for
okay,
Wednesday.
confirm with me, and I'll set up the pre-record stream.
Okay.
All right, John. Have a great weekend and blessings and love to your wife.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Pre-record. I had to figure out schedule. Yeah, that's true too, Fringe. You're right. So, like I said, it's complicated. Like I was saying the other day, I'm going bike riding Saturday. Because I was going to go today, but I had to get blood work. The vampire got me. I'm going Saturday because on Saturdays we have the farmers markets, local. And they sell all their produce and I go nuts. First of all, it's cheaper than the supermarkets because it's local. Secondly, it's organic. Third, and I forgot to go today. Oh my God! I'll wait till Saturday. I love chicory, and I've had a chicory salad in a long time, and I want my chicory. I'm craving for chicory, and they do it, but it's still hard to find, even with the local. But I do find it. But I got to get there early because the chicory goes fast. It's like they sell that, like everybody's looking for chicory. Now, there's one place that's a big farmer's market that gets local nearby, but I forgot, I went to get blood work. I should have went and seen if they had any. I'm sure they do. It's about a 15-minute ride. It's not far. I should have went. I was so close to it. I blew it. But I don't want to be gloom and doom, end of times, like, you know. But all I say is there's a lot to consider what's going on right now. A lot. A lot. Okay, what's going on here? I gotta figure out a way, Fringe, to get you or Astro. I'll call you back. Yeah, right. Good luck with that. Callie Nick, are you still here? You've gone quiet. I don't know if you're still there. Are you still there? I'm going to change the topic completely now. I'm done. I get a headache thinking about it. All right, I want to show you something what I bought. I don't eat much, but I'm going to treat myself today. You know, you talk trash about my New York Giants, you know what I'm saying? This is a New York Giants Super Italian. This is a Super Italian sandwich. New York Giants. I have to show you. I can't eat all that. I'll eat half. I don't eat much no more. I had a donut. That's right. I had a donut a little while ago with the coffee. I take that. Do they have San Francisco Giants? What's in it? It's super Italian. It has everything. I can smell it from here. Different types of cheeses: salami, ham, provolone, banana, peppers, lettuce, tomato, sliced onions, oil, vinegar, salt, pepper. You name it is on that sandwich. That's why I have this nearby. Tums. Gotta have that. Because that is like, or the plop plop fizz fizz moment. Now you want one? You know what? When I lived in Florida, my God, when I lived in Florida, Publix supermarket, they made the best sandwiches. Oh my, I was like a little kid. I'm going for a hero. I call it a hero. You know, they call it subs, whatever. I call it a hero. That's a hero to me. That's not like a sub or whatever people call it. I'm a New Yorker. We call it a hero. But I used to love going to Publix and making the custom sandwich. Put a lot of banana peppers on there. I used to go absolutely nuts in Publix. Oh my God. You lived on Tums when you were pregnant? Oh my God, my mouth is watering. Another thing I love, but it has to be made right, is antipasto salad. But it has to be done right. I love antipasto salad. I don't know how I ended up talking about food. Maybe because I'm hungry now. I didn't eat yesterday because I had to fast for the blood work this morning. I had something to eat. I think it was 7:30 last night. And then I just ate a donut at 11:30ish. That's all I've had since yesterday, a donut. Because that's really bad for me. That's like really bad for me. The sugar, and it's 270 calories for a donut. I can do a lot better for 270 calories. That's a waste. Now this box, remember, this is a brand new box. I don't know, I told Mom be careful with them too. This box will last days. There's no way I'm eating another donut today. This is more for like the morning with coffee kind of deal. But then that's it. This is really bad for me with my diet. So I don't even want to look. This shit is probably loaded with sugar and garbage. Wow, it's actually, oh my God, 34 grams of carbs. That's disgusting. 21 grams of sugar. Even sodium is high at 200. This is bad. This is so bad. My gosh. Fringe, were you here when I played my latest song I wrote this morning? You make your own bagels? Oh man, that sounds good. That sounds good. You make your own bagels? Astro must love that. Astro must love that. I gotta make him a mod on Rumble. I scare the Rumblers away with my talk. I scare everybody away with my talk. That's why a lot of this I'm not saying on TikTok. Over there, you got to be careful of what you say. I mean, like, really got to be careful what you say. I'll do it at some point. Does he use your account, or you guys use separate accounts, and you don't use his, he doesn't use yours on Rumble? How's that work for you guys over there? I'm just curious because I could try to make you a mod. I don't even know if I have a Rumble moderator. I've never had the need to do it. But it would be nice to have one. And you know, I'm not here to pick on anyone or anybody or any, you know, that's not me. I'm just voicing my opinion. That's all, like everybody else does. And I try to do it very respectfully. I'm not here to shout anyone down or saying I'm right, you're wrong, or you know, that kind of thing. No, that's definitely not me. Oh, okay. You know, that's not my way. Everybody has the right to speak their opinions, no matter if you agree or disagree with them. Period. That's why we're individuals. Thank God we have those freedoms to speak our minds in a very, at least in a non-threatening way. I'm not a person for hate. I don't like people who spew hate, because I don't. I respect people. So that shit's a turn off for me. You know what I mean? Perma ban you? Oh my God. You see? There we go. That's what I mean. And just to use the language used is bad enough. Calling someone that, which I won't say, is bad enough. See what I mean? Oh my gosh. Respect to me goes a long way. And like I said, everybody is entitled to their opinion. And I wish all success, because his success is our success for the country. Bottom line. You know what I mean? So I would hope everybody is trying to. But see, I'm an independent. It's different. I always see things I agree or disagree with. You know what I mean? I wrote to the president 4 times and he responded. Well, let me rephrase that. In the first administration, I wrote 4 times. 3 were generic emails that I got back from the White House correspondence. The 4th one was personal. I was like, wow. Wow. So I never wrote Biden. I never wrote Biden. And I made an attempt to write when he first got back into office, but I didn't get no response at all. But maybe they were still working out the correspondence office for the White House. I need to write again, because I did get direct communication from the first administration. I did. So now I don't know where I have my letters I wrote. I would have to search my computer. It's actually funny because on one thing that I wrote a letter to him, that night he was on Sean Hannity and brought up something I wrote in my letter. I was like, no way. Coincidence? The 3rd letter I wrote about, what was the thing that was a big thing that they were talking about as far as a possible treatment for, you know what happened. I'm on YouTube. I gotta be careful. And it came from India and China. I don't remember the name of it, but there was a lot of talk of it. I wrote to him about that. And you won't believe what happened. I'm going to read it. If I could find it, I'm going to read it to you. It is wild. Oh, man. Let me look. Letter, maybe? Letter. I might have to put more than that to search my computer. I'm just going to see letter. Letter could come up in so many different ways. I don't know if I put president. President. Let me see. It's searching. I'll read to you what I wrote. Then I'll tell you what happened. It was wild. I swear, I honestly think his correspondence folks were reading him, picking and choosing what to read to him. I honestly believe that. And I can't prove it, but something happened on one letter specifically. A few weeks later, something happened. And I was like, another coincidence? I'm hoping it pops up on my computer. Let me see if it pops up. It's searching my computer. Hopefully it'll pick it up. I put letter president. I don't know if I named it president or prez, but it should maybe pop up. I know I have them. I just don't know where it is on my computer. I wish I had that last email though. It was personal. Appreciation as a patriot, as a citizen. It was in October of, what is it, 2020? It was actually awesome, I have to say. Oh my God, I should have just put the word president. It's not picking anything up. Let me try president. Okay, there's some stuff coming up, but that's show files. There's all kinds of stuff coming up. There's got to be one labeled president. I think I did Prez, P-R-E-Z for the other one. Still searching. I have 4 hard drives, so it's like, it's crazy. I can't do it because I could do it. It's a note. It's actually a notepad because I wrote all the letters on a notepad. That's not a bad idea, Steve. I'm just gonna let this one play out. But that's a great idea, 2020, because that's when I wrote them. That's not true because I wrote some before that too. It won't work that way because I don't remember if it was 2018 when they came over here. That letter's crazy because something happened on Sean Hannity's town hall that night. I was like, no way. It's kind of similar to what's going on right now, to be honest. My gosh, it has to be here. Do I have to search this shit separately? But I don't know where it is. Like a lot of this is show files. I'm waiting. Steve. Oh my God. Oh my God, Steve. Hold on. I gotta get off soon because I gotta work. This is some BS. I'm going to open up another file explorer. I highly doubt it's in this one. No. All right, we're going to check each drive one by one while this one's still doing it. Narrow it down. Nothing in that drive. Because then, wherever this one is, probably the others are there too. Letter to Prez 2. Which one is this one? That's not the one. Oh my God. So if it's not Prez, where is this located? Let's try President. There was two that really made me go like, whoa. Okay, it's not in that drive. Let's try drive F. Oh, it's not going to do it like that. This one's still searching. Wow, it's 2:15 already? This is BS. If I can find one, I'll find where they're located. That's the shit. Maybe I'll try his idea, what Steve said. What does a notepad extension look like? Let me look. It would be TXT. It's a definite TXT. TXT. Oh my God. That wasn't exactly a great move. Wow, look at all these TXTs. That's sick. It's all Windows. It should stick right out. You know when you look for something and you get pissed off that you can't find it? That's what I'm going through right now. I just found a whole bunch more. It's like I'm getting dizzy. It finds them quicker when I do each individual drive. You know what? I'll be pissed if I don't find this, because this was important to me. Forget about putting TXT in there. That's a bad idea. Letter to Prez 3. Letter to Prez. I found him. What drive is this? So I remember where this is forever. Oh, this is it. I found it. I want to see the file location. It's in Documents in Drive E. I found it. I found it. Perfect. All right. So this is one of the letters. Nearby, there was a city that was rampant with gangs. Bloods, Crips, MS-13, you name it. Right here. Nearby. This is what I wrote him. I think it was 2018. I don't remember what year it was. Dear Mr. President, we all know the current tense situation in regards to racial, social issues that have been in the mainstream media in the past few weeks. I resided in New York City for many years, where certain neighborhoods were riddled with gangs and drug dealers who would intimidate and even threaten the people in those neighborhoods, and they lived in fear of these criminals. When I moved upstate, I noticed a similar scenario in a city nearby. When you took office, you ordered ICE, FBI, and I believe the ATF to take those criminals, gangs and drug dealers off the streets, and you created an environment of safety once again in their community. If people, I'm just going to read it the way I wrote it. If people really want to recognize the core issues regarding black lives or other minority lives matters, please take the role once again to implement the agency you used in the past to go into crime-riddled neighborhoods and take these individuals off the streets. Look what happened last weekend in Chicago. The real issue to save lives is the crime committed by individuals against the minority community and the fear it installs in those communities. I think it would be, which is, I don't know, I was dreaming. I think it would be a bipartisan no-brainer to go into neighborhoods and sweep up all these criminals out of communities of color. Thank you, Mr. President, for taking the time to read my letter, and God bless you, your family, and the United States of America. That night, he went on Hannity, and he made a reference to my letter. I was like, oh, That was one. Wait till the next one. Because I found the other one too. And then I'm going to get off because I got to go to work. At least I found the location. Oh shit, don't tell me I lost it. No, it's here. This is letter 3. I'm just picking and choosing. No, he did get back to me, Fringe. This was back in 2018. He did get back. But see, it was a generic response. The first 3 letters, well, the first 2 were generic White House correspondence because I could match them. They looked identical. Not the third. Here's the other one. Dear Mr. President, I am writing to you today to address another issue in regards to the manufacturing of generic and other types of medications which are imported to the United States. A vast majority of over-the-counter medication as well as their ingredients comes from China and India. Here's the word I was looking for. For example, as you are aware of, 70% of hydroxychloroquine comes from India. If a drug is not manufactured and imported to the United States, many of the important ingredients come from other countries as well. Of course, the 2 main players, for example, are China and India. These drugs are derived from plant-based materials. I personally think it would be in our best interest and also under a national security measure to start the process of growing these medicinal plants in our country or somewhere in the Americas with cooperation from our neighboring countries. This would end the dependency of overseas drug imports and create business growth and build a stronger economy here in the United States. It's time to end these other countries' control over our supply of needed medications and their ingredients and create a national supply here at home. What happened 3 weeks later? I was like, holy shit. This is what happened. I was like, no. Right here. And I'm not saying it was me, but what a coincidence. Hold on. Why am I putting the clock? Right here. Kodak, look at the date. 2020, August 6th. Kodak gets $765 million loan from U.S. to produce medicines, reportedly including hydroxychloroquine. Oh my God. I saw this and I was like, look at this. Peter Navarro, assistant to the president, brought to light that Americans are dangerously dependent on foreign supply chains for their essential medicines. I was like, wait a minute. I talked about this in a letter weeks before. And now you guys are talking about doing this here in the country? And that's when I got the letter back as a patriot. All that, I was like, wow. They read that one because it was personal. Had my name, everything. It was personal. And I was like, holy. So what the point of this is, if you want to be proactive, contact, write, take action. Be proactive. Your concerns, whatever they are, your opinions, but be respectful. Definitely be respectful. Because they know everything about you once you do this. If you go to whitehouse.gov or any of those sites, you know that they're tracking and watching, right? Just telling you, if you decide to do it, it's on you. But I do it. And it's right here. Again, I'm not here pro, con, against. I'm just giving people the information. The White House site. It's whitehouse.gov. And they've been redoing the site slowly. You know, they're rebuilding it. Every administration puts out their own format of it. You can get email updates. Here it is. Contact. Go for it. Contact the president. Do it right here. Do it. Anything, like I said, but be respectful. That's my advice. Because you're giving them your address, all your stuff. They're going to know your everything, your email, everything. It's all in there. I'm going to do that. I'm not doing it today, but it's bookmarked. See, I have it bookmarked. Look. See, it's bookmarked. So you know I use it. And that's my advice. Be proactive. Write. And, be serious about the topic. If you're going to bring up a topic. Or you can just simply commend him on what he's doing. If you're going to be critical, do it very respectfully. That is the President of the United States, regardless if you agree or disagree with anything that you put in there. Be respectful. It is the President of the United States. Bottom line. Like I said, doesn't matter if you agree, disagree. If you're going to put something in there, be responsible and be respectful. That's the only thing I'm going to talk about that. But you might be surprised and write it out well, direct, be blunt. Don't make it a book. Get to your point. Speak your mind. Get your point across, and be respectful. And you could even come up with, like I did, ideas. You'd be surprised. Now, did I write the last president? No. I'm going to be honest, no. But there's actually something. Now, I don't, obviously, he probably has different people working in the White House correspondence. Because I would love to say, remember me? They'll remember me because they got a record of me. They definitely do. But I don't know if they keep that from the prior administration moving into this administration. I highly doubt it. It's probably a totally different staff that's running this department now. But I can definitely write in there, dear Mr. President, it's great to write to you again during your second administration. I wrote to you prior. Thank you for your, whatever. I'll go into that a little bit. So they kind of get a trigger that I've done this before. And then go into whatever topic that I'm going to bring up. And of course, very respectful. You know what I mean? Okay, who said that? Grundy. It's not just you see what's going on off the coast. It's not just about the cartels. Iran, Russia, China have a heavy influence in those South American countries. It's even, I'm not saying, because I'm not a person that jumps off ledges, I would not doubt that they have training facilities to infiltrate the borders, to send them here. There's a lot of talk of that, and I would not doubt that. They would love to have that influence here in the Americas to mess with us. So this is not just a drug cartel thing. This is more than that. We need to wipe their influence out of the Americas. I totally agree. Because, and I'm Puerto Rican, actually Spaniard, but Middle Eastern folks look similar to Hispanic folks in appearance. And that's not a stereotype, that's just reality. So, it is a security threat in more ways than people realize. I think a lot of people may realize it, but it's just not just simply smuggling in things or people or arms or drugs, fentanyl, whatever. That's to undermine, obviously, everything that is in this country, but it's also the threat. And I don't want to say the word because I'll get flagged, but you know what kind of threat I'm talking about. This is serious. I've had conversations with people in the past. You can't trust China. China's our major adversary because of their growth, expansion. I mean, it is. But let's just think of this in a practical, realistic way. If you deem a country or an organization as a T organization, the T word, like Hamas, Hezbollah, a T organization. I'm afraid to even say it because I'm on YouTube. Because it flags. That's why Rumble's great, because you can speak your mind. Why aren't drug cartels considered the same? And if so, if we can preemptively strike against those that threaten the national security, the people of this country, why can't we do exactly what he's doing and just go after them, take out their infrastructure, take out these places where they're doing all this shit, the transport, I don't care what Mexico has to say because they're corrupt beyond. I don't care what anybody has to say. This is a direct threat to the people of the United States, and we're coming after you, and we're taking you out. Period. To me, it's not even complicated. You label them drug cartels, all of these groups, T groups. They're on the T list. They are a threat to our national security, and you do everything you can to destroy them. Their trade routes. I would take out their ports. I would go nuts. Me. And I'm so happy. We need to be proactive and not reactive. Right? I mean, we could take out the Houthis that are threatening the shipping supply lanes. Why can't we take out these, I don't want to curse, but these fuckers who are destroying our country right across our border? Our continent. No. Enough's enough. It's been way overdue. I mean, to take out these drug cartels and the facilities that produce, manufacture, grow, and that shit comes into our country, needs to be stopped. I mean, really. Think how much death and destruction it's causing, harm in our country. And I'm sure up there in Fringe, in Canada, it's happening as well. Because of that. Put a hurt on them. A big hurt. And I don't care if Mexican officials complain, or Venezuelan, or Colombian, or whatever it is. This has been going on for too long. Looking the other way and knowing exactly where it exists, where they are. And again, you may not, the leaders of the cartels may be embedded in cities or villages. Go after where it hurts them, in their pocket. Wipe out their infrastructure. They're left with nothing. Like I said, the trade route, how the faculties they use to smuggle. And who's supplying them with the drones and everything else? Are they building it themselves? Is somebody helping them? Transport? I would wipe that shit out. That's just me, though. You know? That's just me. But I think many Americans, wherever they are on the aisle, would agree that it's time. It's way overdue. I would like to see a poll done on that, even though I don't trust polls. But I would like to see what the American people, leave it up to the American people to decide, should we embark on a seek and destroy mission to take out the fucking cartels? And this also goes with the smuggling of people. Because they're connected to everything. The cartels are connected to, it's not just drugs. It's the human trafficking. And weapons. And people from other, I can't prove this, but people from other countries that want to get in here to do bad things. So it's not just a simple one thing, it's a lot of things. So I say, let's kick ass and finally do it. So I'm all for what's going on down there off the coast. Hurt them. Hurt their fields. Hurt their infrastructure. Make them pay. Literally, make them pay. I'm not talking about targeting civilians, or I'm talking about make it hurt where it's really going to hurt, in their pocket. Destroy their infrastructure, destroy their fields, destroy their manufacturing. And I'm talking about for the drugs, munitions, anything that's a detriment and can be harmful to us. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do it. Yes, I am working. I'm getting off right now, to be honest. So, that's just my opinion on that. We'll see what happens. Maduro has to go. He got to go. Chavez before him, Maduro's got to go. Just saying. That dude has to go. In my opinion. It would be a good start. And I'm not saying that I'm one that targets, because that's actually, there are laws there to go after assassinations of leaders. There are actually laws. What's up, C? But I don't know if that's an international law thing. There's something to do with that. I don't know if it's part of our law, but shit happens. It's time. It's way, way, way overdue. I mean, that's just, like I said, that's just my opinion. We'll see what happens. But I got to get off because I got to go to work. But I'm sure, I don't know the latest. I don't know if it was destroyers. I don't know what exactly naval. Let's just put U.S. Navy off Venezuelan coast. I'm just going to put that. I'm sure shit is going to pop up. Okay, let's look at the most recent. Let's look at past day, if there's any updates. Oh, they sent subs too. Nuclear subs. Oh. This is, I don't know. Oh my God, really? What kind of news source is this? The U.S. Navy has sent at least 7 warships, including 3 guided missile destroyers and a nuclear-powered attack submarine to waters near Venezuela. And then it lists the ships that are involved. 5 of the ships are equipped with Tomahawk missiles and have the ability to target land targets. It's part of an operation. The White House has described the deployment as part of an operation to combat drug trafficking by cartels, but military analysts believe that the scope and composition of the forces go beyond anti-trafficking missions and may be pursuing deeper political and military goals. Good! President Trump is prepared to use every element of American power to prevent the entry of drugs and call Maduro a fugitive cartel leader. That's what I just said. Good. And this is just me speaking. I'm 100% behind it. Let's do it. I don't know what all of you feel like or think. Let's do it. It's time. And like I said, the intelligence has the information available, what ships are coming into their ports, the cargo associated to that, China, possibly Iran. As a matter of fact, we should look that up before I get off. Okay. I should put it. I'm gonna retype it. That's a little bit more clarity. Look at that. This is an old 2024 article. A strategy to counter malign Chinese and Russian influence in Latin America and the Caribbean. I'm skimming. Wow. Check. Oh my gosh. China and Russia have different goals, and I haven't even looked up Iran. China and Russia have different goals and capabilities in the region. China seeks to leverage its economic power to increase its influence in other areas of competition, with significant success today, whereas Russia continues to support anti-American authoritarian regimes militarily and spread disinformation throughout the region to undermine U.S. interests. China also gains to get access to critical minerals in Peru, and pushing countries to loosen ties with Taiwan. China also operates spy stations in Cuba, has a handful in the U.S. fentanyl epidemic that continues to cost tens of thousands of lives, with chemical precursors reaching Mexico via China. Russia, for its part, has pursued military partnerships with Venezuela and Nicaragua, including sending Russian troops to the region. There's more. There's more. But I gotta get off. Iranian influence in South America. Here's one. And I'm just pulling up. And this is pretty much also historical in nature. This is giving you an outline. Again, you got to do the background. Iran's presence in Latin America, the biggest threat to regional democracy. Argentina, where it all began. A pattern of behavior, cultural penetration, diplomatic, military. Look at this. Hezbollah's role in narco-terrorism in Latin America. The trafficking. All kinds of stuff is in here. And that's just that. There's so much more threat. That's just one area. And you could look this up. There's so many articles on it. This is a more recent article. They're a threat. Iran's Latin American strategy, leveraging asymmetric warfare to project conflict into the Western Hemisphere. Wouldn't they love to do that? They may not have the capability to strike us from abroad, but what if they started to escalate this and start to do this in the Americas? I mean, look. So the influence is multifaceted. China, Russia, Iran. And they're all in cahoots together. That's the axis. And North Korea. They're going to try to undermine our country from South America. Does it not make strategic sense on our continent to do it that way? Of course it is. We need to wipe this shit out. Regime change is needed because those certain countries are the ones that are engaging with them. No? Yes? So I agree. It's not maybe simply just targeting the cartels. It could be military and politically motivated too. That is a definite existential threat right in South America and some of these countries to us. Direct. This is national security. And I don't, whether people agree or disagree, that's, like I always say, it's up to you. But we really need to pay attention to what's going on in South America. The threat that it poses to us here. And, that's it. I think I ranted way too much today. All over the place. But love to all of you. Peace, blessings. And have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. And I will, as a Catholic, raised a Catholic, God bless you all. And enjoy, like I said, the rest of your day. And I'll probably be back later at some point, but I got to work till 10 at least. Anyway, again, to all those on Rumble, Fringe, Steve, everybody in there, Twitch, Nick, you have a great one. See on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, have a great rest of your afternoon. And maybe be back later. It depends how tired I am.